Did you ever wax a piece of furniture or bought one that was, and now you're wondering how to refinish it? I know I have. This beautiful dresser is covered in wax, but for only $50, I had to try and refinish it and show you how you can tackle your own project. Welcome back, Melissa from A Life Refurbished, and today we have this tall boy antique dresser. He's gorgeous, and it may look like he is in great shape from the angle that you're watching, but let's just go over a few of the issues that this guy has today. There are signs that he was painted before and somebody stripped most of the finish but left a lot of the residue. We have a couple of chunks missing from the edges on the top. I suspect that after they stripped it, they applied wax on it by the way the surface feels. It has a lot of stains, and unfortunately those stains are directly on the wood grain, so therefore I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to partially paint it, but keep on watching because I think today's makeover is gonna be a learning curve for you and I. Stay tuned. I am kind of sad that it doesn't have the original handle, so I'm gonna try my best to keep handles that look antique. Let's get started. I couldn't tell these by just looking at the dresser, but when I measure, I found that the two top drawers measurements for hardware were different than the three bottom ones. This meant that I would need to find pulls that came in two different sizes. And hardware size on vintage furniture can be challenging to find, so when I saw this set that matched both the style and size on Amazon, I was thrilled. But before we can sand anything, we need to take off any gunk left by the previous stripping job and any amount of wax. Otherwise, nothing will stick to the surface. To remove the wax, we're gonna need mineral spirits. For small areas such as the drawers, I'm pouring a small amount over the surface. This will start activating or lifting the wax. And for the next part, you can use either steel wool or a brush to scrub it. Using a shop paper towel, wipe any remaining off before the wax starts re-solidifying. Yeah, the surface had all kinds of things going on, and I found that each section needed something different. For the areas with leftover paint or gunk, I used the carbide scraper very gently as I want to preserve the wood in hopes to restore the piece. And the remaining paint I couldn't remove without compromising the integrity of the wood. I sanded using 120 grit, always following the wood patterns, which I had a couple of them here. The top drawers also had a decorative carved trim that I wanted to preserve and carefully sanded with a bendable abrasive. You can find these abrasives on Amazon without having to own a specialized sander, and I'm gonna share all the links under the video description. One thing you need to know about dealing with wax surfaces is that it will take a little bit of elbow grease, but it will pay off at the end, especially if your piece has sentimental value, or maybe just like me, you got lucky and found furniture with unique features that make it really special. Remember how I said that our surface had different issues? What I meant was that there were some parts I believe were sealed with polyurethane, and mineral spirits was not effective. Perhaps the person who tried refinishing it was testing the waters, trying different top coats, I'm not sure, but either way, I poured acetone on those parts, and that seemed to do the trick. When I started the project, I gave myself 2 days to prep this guy for its new finish. And when I was almost to the finish line, I realized I had forgotten to remove this beautiful jewelry that makes the dresser one of a kind. You will need a good wash and perhaps a color refresh, but you better believe I'm planning on keeping it. right here, I'm pretty excited because we successfully removed the paint, the gunk, polyurethane, wax, and whatever else was sitting on top of this wood. I was starting to see a full restoration in the horizon. However, the more I sanded, the more it became apparent that I was going to need to overcome another challenge if I still wanted to restore it. The biggest issue with it is that they use a stain with red tannings to try and match the light color wood to the red in the mahogany. Unfortunately, when you can't get that red tone out of the light color wood, it's really hard to restore the piece. But because I'm stubborn and I still want to see if I can restore it, I want to use a gel stain. Some of the red tones are really obvious on these front posts. It looks very patchy, so I try sanding that off. It's just not being flexible. We have to mold a couple of good size pieces to both edges here on the dresser. And since I'm thinking I'm gonna be staining these in like a dark espresso color, I want the putty that I'm using to be also a dark color, so I don't have to work super hard at blending those repairs to camouflage them. These dries as hard as Bando does, but the great thing about it is that you can get it different colors. You have a lot more working time with this putty mix here, so I absolutely love it. I'm sure you can tell here I'm speeding up the video. Both corners have curves and straight lines, so it took a little bit of time. My molds are not perfect, but close enough to where you wouldn't be able to notice them unless you got really close. I was able to sand the dry putty after 20 minutes. You can always mix more putty and add onto it, wait a little bit and sand it again until you're happy with the final look. Now that the molds are dry, I can start staining this guy. Since there are areas in that light color wood that have stain I can't get rid of, I'm skipping the pre-stain step as I'm hoping that the quality that makes gel stain a wonderful product, like its high pigments, thickness, and that it sits at the surface, will be enough to cover the inconsistency in the wood tones. There are two different ways I like applying this product. The first one is for the areas that don't have issues and where the wood is even, which is your typical way that you would apply a normal stain. You brush it in, let it sit for a couple minutes, and wipe the excess off. But there is a different way of applying it when I'm dealing with a surface that's very uneven. I will explain that in a minute. For now, I want to talk to my friends that are watching that want to make furniture refinishing a side hustle or a full-time job. I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why it's worth putting in the time and effort into restoring this piece instead of painting it. The first one is that it's 2026 and restored vintage furniture has made a comeback, which means it's easier to find a buyer. Number 2, in this case, I had to take the time to remove anything that was sitting on top of the wood anyway, so why cover it with paint? Besides, the wood is in pretty good shape. Reason number 3, restoring this piece increases its value in my market by at least $200. This means putting more money aside for an oncoming dental visit and avoid charging it to the credit card. These right here, you see that? That redness? sanded it. The more I sanded, the worse it got, I feel like. So far, the rest is looking good. Now this one, again, if necessary, I might not wipe the excess back, just to, I mean, it looks really good like that, you guys. To finish my sentence, I want the heavy coat of stain to cover the spots, and that's why I'm not wiping it back. You really don't need to put a lot in that brush. And then, because the bristles are thin, we can really go in there. And these little detail is another part that I'm worried about, you guys, because the tannins were not cooperating either. This brings us back to the second way I like to apply gel stain. For these rounded areas, using a bristle cheap brush works great. As you apply, the bristles will leave brush strokes, which in this case, I want them. They will help the red spots blend in more and make them less noticeable. Over the years, I've tested different gel stain brands, and let me tell you, this one definitely stands out. It is its thick consistency that makes it great at covering discrepancies in the wood color, but there are a couple things to keep in mind when using it. Since it sits at the surface more, make sure that you work it in with a brush, especially if you have a piece that has carvings or crevices. And unless you desire to have brush strokes like I did in some parts, make sure to wipe the excess off as soon as possible because I find that it dries quick. One of the reasons why gel stain, and specifically this brand, became very popular, it's because it can be applied over stained wood that has been lightly sanded without having to strip first. Take the inside of this drawer, for example. It had a stain, so I sanded the area and then stained over it without having to sand the entire thing. And it turned out great. Talk about a time saver. If you have an antique at home and you don't want to completely strip it and the finish is in gray shape, you might just need to lightly sand it and then apply this gray product over top coat and you're done. Going back to our tall and handsome guy, if you have drawers that are sticking a bit, grab a wax stick or a wax candle if you have one at home and rub some of that wax on the drawer guides. These will take care of the problem. This tall guy has come a long ways. He is handsome, absolutely lovely. Was it kind of hard to get in those nooks and crannies where the most beautiful areas are? Yes. With that said, I want to save you time and I want to make it as easy as possible because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed when you run into a piece while you're scouring at the secondhand store and second guessing if you can take on the project or not. And I just want to simplify things, being that I already spent a lot of time. This can was $14. I thought that was very reasonable. Again, with the right tools, you can get your project look pretty close to what it would look if you was a professional doing this for you. So we're gonna save some time. My door's open, I have good ventilation. I'm gonna be wearing my respirator because I don't wanna inhale any of the fumes or chemicals that are in this can. Let's finish it. I'm excited. Before spraying your top coat, especially if your finish is dark, you wanna make sure that it's dust free. So I just like using a tack cloth to wipe the surface before spraying. This sprayable top coat is a great option if you don't own a sprayer or if you don't want to bother with learning how to work a sprayer and still get a professional looking finish. I'm using an Old Masters oil-based polyurethane here. The can tells you to wait an hour in between coats, but I found that even after 15 minutes, the surface looked nice and dry. It was just perfect spraying weather day for me. I spray a total of 3 coats, and I still had some product left over in the can after I was done. The wood grain did raise a little bit after I was done spraying, which is common on wood finishes. I lightly sanded with an extra fine sanding sheet afterwards, and that got rid of any texture. Do you guys remember the really beautiful button looking metal plates that were at the bottom that I removed? Well, I gave them a really good scrub, and then I found that they were a little too shiny, so they didn't really match the hardware that I was putting on. So I ended up mixing these gold and black wax, brushed it in, and ended up matching the color in the new hardware perfectly. So I was really glad. And just like that, we've arrived to the finish line. Full disclosure here, this guy ended up selling in less than an hour to somebody that lives a couple of miles away from my home. So it was an easy and fast delivery. She was in love with this piece, and I couldn't be happier that he found a new home so fast. Let me know in the comments, do you think that this restoration was worth it? I can't wait to read you all, and I'll see you next time. If you're interested in furniture refinishing as a business, I asked ChatGPT to help me stage the piece, forward it to my client. She loved the idea. AI can be a great helper for staging ideas. And finally, this is how much profit I made from today's makeover. I hope you find it helpful and inspiring.